Greetings comic lovers and welcome back to Casually Comics, the channel where we chat all things comics, from reviews of comics new and old, to history to anecdotes, truly wherever our whims take us. Comics is a hobby that has a long history. You have characters who have been around for decades, and many who have existed in various forms, or seen change at the whims of shifting continuity or trends. That's why I do a series called The Confusing History of, and then insert character name or thing, because it's fun to chart the course of these things. At least I think so. However, it also means that for a lot of these characters there will be updates, as continuity is ever marching forward. It's why I say at the time of this recording so much, I'm just waiting for things to change, on the edge of my seat, just so that they can spite me. Which is a roundabout way of saying that we've had a Helena Wayne sighting. A while back on this channel we did a confusing history of the Huntress, wherein we detailed how two separate characters, both named Helena, had borne the name. We left the villainous Huntress alone. That's a tale for another day. The first of these heroic Huntresses was Helena Wayne, daughter of Bruce and Selina, a result of their marriage on Earth 2. I will of course have all the cards and all the links. So how post several crises and flashpoints and rebirths have we seen the return of Helena Wayne? Well, get ready to find out. But before we get started, I'm Sasha, and if you're enjoying this content, you know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Join us in this comic book journey. Catwoman and Batman getting married is not a new concept, and as just mentioned was actually the status quo on an alternate Earth for years. The idea of the two having a child together was even flirted with in post-crisis continuity. So neither are the newest concepts, but they both elicited excitement when they turned up in Tom King's Batman run. Tom King being the author who took over Batman in the Rebirth era starting in 2016. Of course, the Batcat wedding that was advertised as arriving in issue 50 never actually occurred. And as for the pregnancy, well, here's where things get interesting. And it all starts to come together. So get your yarn, your conspiracy board, your Sharpie, your tinfoil hat, let's do this. Tom King's Batman run was originally meant to last 100 issues, but was cut off at issue 85, and instead it was announced shortly after that he would get a 12-issue Batcat miniseries, or maxi-series, which many assumed would be what was initially meant to be the end of his run, which of course caused rumors to swirl. What could it be? Was it a madness like no other that had to be stopped? Well, we actually reviewed the recently released at the time of this recording issue 1 on this channel, and alongside being demonetized for adult content after human review despite there being none in the video, it was made clear that at least part of this was meant to be the big finale. I'm salty, I'm still so salty. At least monetize me correctly, please. The story dealt with multiple time skips, or points along a timeline. A past, present, and future timeline, with the future timeline featuring old Selina leading off of Batman Annual number 2, which was initially released in November 29th of 2017, which is also where we have our Helena Wayne sighting. Now here's where the timeline gets a little wonky, because it's later on in 2020, February of that year to be exact, that we get some promo pictures of a pregnant Selina. Here she is, in full Catwoman costume, standing with Bruce cradling her belly atop a gargoyle. So maternity Catwoman suit. This had best be there for family-only pregnancy photo shoot, because serious concerns of late second trimester or third trimester Selina is still hitting the streets. Oh joy, she is. Huzzah. Now the pregnancy reveal or storyline occurred in the Catwoman 80th Anniversary 100-page Super Spectacular. This story came to us from Tom King, with art by Mikel Janin, and it was actually simply titled Helena. You may notice that I say Helena and Helena. I don't know, I can never know which one I'm saying. It's Kara or Kara. Helena. Helena. Well, I mean, the multiverse. Wibbly wobbly multiversity. This story is all of the things. So while the story was released after our annual, chronologically, it goes first. So we'll do it that way. Ugh, I'm gonna throw up. I've got a bat bucket in the car. This is a disaster. It's in the car. I thought maybe it could make it better. You know what really could make it better? Not fighting crooks during the first trimester of pregnancy. My latest baby is approaching 4 months. I have vivid memories of pregnancy, very recent at the time of this recording. And while of course you can still do things, don't let people trick you into thinking you just need to lay in bed the whole time unless it's high risk or there are extenuating circumstances. But I would not recommend fighting across the rooftops of Gotham, where the criminals would have no compunctions about potentially kicking you in the stomach, or just, you know, the exertion and the stress and life things. I say we put that as a warning up there with smoking and riding roller coasters. How? Can't anyone see I'm not a mother? I'm a thief. I have many thoughts on this story, but I'm not gonna linger here too long, because they could take up their own video. I will give you the tiniest grain of my salt, which is that in my opinion, the story is not handling the themes of concern surrounding impending motherhood as gracefully as it seems to think it is. So we see baby Helena, who has a bat onesie, rocking her dad's merch. And we also get a look at future Selina and a grown Helena, visiting a now dead Bruce in the cemetery, where Selina tells her she's not like her, she's not a thief, except for one thing. What did I ever steal? Oh my dear, you stole my heart. So this short story was released on June 20th of 2020, and it cemented that this future was very much the direction that Tom King was looking to go in for the Bat family and for Batcat. This was the end of Batman's journey. The Batman Annual, though it came up before it, continues the threads of this same story. But as an annual, it is a double-length story, and it hops between Batman and Catwoman going from flirtation to relationship, while it employs a time skip from past to future. And in the future, Bruce is dying of cancer. So you know, if you were feeling too happy and you were looking for something to bring you down, you just need to be a bit bummed out, well, there you go. Don't say I never do anything for you. Helena appears very briefly in this story, where it is revealed that she has taken up the mantle of Batwoman. She has a costume very reminiscent of the Kate Kane iteration of Batwoman. So I guess that's just the costume. It comes with a title, just like Batman's. Since this story happened first, it was here that people first started to get a bit excited that we might see her again, and then that was cemented later by the Helena one-shot. Or was it? So what we have here are brief sightings, and the vibe that King potentially wanted to flesh this out more, or do more with this future time period. And it is likely that we'll see more of Bruce and Selina's daughter in the Batman Catwoman story. So all of this ties together because at the end of that annual, as mentioned, Bruce dies, and Selina finds a cat that he bought for her with a note. I'm not gonna lie, this note got me, even though I'm about to read it in my Batman voice, so be prepared.
I love you too, cat, from the first kiss to the last.
Damn you. It's a sweet reminder of his Bat contingency plans, but applied to their love, because the last thing she said to him was that she loved him, and then he finished that sentence in his post-mortem note. That's romance. And they say it was dead. It's not dead. He is. Also, yes, in the Tom King run, they call each other Bat and Cat as nicknames, even as Selina and Bruce, and in public, which I always had a hard time buying. I mean, you could spin it very easily for Selina, just look around her and all the cats she has, but how do you credibly do it for Bruce? Oh, he just really loves baseball. Oh, he just broken a lot of kneecaps. The annual was called Date Nights and Last Rites, by the way. I just thought you'd like to know that. So this ties into the Batman / Catwoman issue 1 because we see this cat with Selina when she goes to visit the Joker. And also she explains that Bruce died surrounded by his friends and family, which we see in that annual. All of this poses an interesting meta-level question. If this Batcat maxi series, which is being published as a black label book, which has been said by other creators, for example, current at the time of this recording Batman writer, James Tynion, to be non-canon in terms of main verse, then does this mean that this whole future has been relegated to that non-canon space? It wouldn't be hard at all. It was explored in an annual, which already occupy an interesting space in the modern era of comics, modern at the time of this recording, and in an anniversary special, so you could untether it rather easily. If so, what do you think it was about this direction that rubbed people the wrong way, potentially? The domesticity? The finality of it all? It's hard to go this far into the future and pull it off. Not everybody can be Batman Beyond. It's never fun to watch your heroes die. Also, how would a future writer follow this up? You would be boxing them in a little bit. Or do you love all of this and wish that it had gone that way? Or do you just hope we can keep Helena Wayne? Because we also still have Helena Bertinelli, don't forget. So yes, this is our updated Huntress sort of sighting, our updated Helena Wayne sighting. If she appears more in these Batcat books, you'll hear about it. Because they won't stop me. They can take away my monetization, but they'll never take my salt. Please do consider joining this channel so that we can stay salty all day long. If you want to hear about either of these tales discussed in this video more in depth, let me know down below. And while you're down there, please do all of the other YouTube things too. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so that you never miss a vid. Thanks so much for taking some time out of your day to spend it discussing comics with me. I always appreciate it, and I will see you again soon.